Okay, so if you missed class on Thursday, December the 1st, you will have missed this instruction. So I'm going to do a video here to help you out with this content. So we are dividing polynomials using long division. There are two ways to do this, but just today we're going to talk about dividing with long division. And first, in order to do long division of polynomials, you need to recognize and understand long division of just numbers. So here we have 246 divided by 7. So if we were to set that up, we put the 7 on the outside, we'd have our division symbol, and we put 246 underneath. The number that's on the outside is called the divisor. The number that's underneath is your dividend, and the answer that you get is going to be your quotient. So in order to divide, the algorithm is you look for, you use as many terms as you need so that you can divide the divisor into those numbers. So 7 can't go into 2, so we'll use 2 digits. 7 can go into 24. So how many times does 7 go into 24? Well, the answer is 3. 3 times 7 is 21. That goes underneath those 2 terms. And then next you subtract. Okay? When you subtract here, we end up with a 3. And in order to keep the process going, we will bring the 6 down. Okay? So now our new dividend is 36. So we're saying, hey, how many times is 7 going to 36? And that answer is 5. 5 times 7 is 35. And then again, you subtract. And from that subtraction, you end up with the number 1, and that number 1 is your remainder. So we can write our answer as 35 remainder 1. Okay? Alright, so that's how that works. So we're going to use that same structure to do polynomial long division. So it says write polynomial division in the same format that you use when you're dividing numbers. Include a 0 as the coefficient of any missing terms. This is very important. Okay, so you can't skip any terms when you are dividing with polynomials. It said at each step, divide the term with the highest power of the dividend by the first term of the divisor. And that means we'll only be dealing with the first terms. So like here is the x, this is a binomial, but we're only going to deal with the x, and then we'll only deal with this first term. So that's how you do your polynomial division. It says this gives the next term of the quotient. This will make a lot more sense in practice, okay? But here is an example. It says divide x to the third minus 2x squared minus 3x plus 10, and we're going to divide it by x plus 2. Okay, so x plus 2 is our divisor, and the long polynomial here is our dividend. So in order to do our first step, we say, hey, how many times does x to the third power, all right, we're going to divide x to the third power by x. We get x to the second. Okay, and that goes up on the top, because that's going to be a part of our quotient. From there, you take that number and you distribute to the terms in your divisor, and that goes beneath the 2 terms in the dividend. You will then subtract, just like you do before. And then when you subtract, you bring down the next term. So all of this process, these steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, are the same steps that we did up here. Okay? So we're going to do this problem right here, polynomial long division, and we want to divide x to the 4th plus 2x squared minus x plus 5 by x to the 2nd minus x plus 1. Okay, so let's write it out. So our divisor goes on the outside. Okay, division. I'm going to make it pretty long. Alright, and so we're going to put our terms here. So we have x to the 4th. We have what's missing is the third term. So from our note above, put a 0 for any missing coefficients. So I'm missing an x to the 3rd. That's a 2. Alright, so we'll make this a 3. And then I can continue 2x squared minus x plus 5. So all of the terms are represented. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Alright. So we are going to take our first terms, so just x squared and x to the 4th. What is x to the 4th divided by x squared? Well, the answer is x squared. So I'm going to bring that over here. Alright, I'm going to line it up with the terms. Unlike this problem, I wouldn't have done it this way. I would have shifted it down. But here, I'm going to just line it up with the term that I have in the dividend. So x squared, now I have to multiply it with all of this. So x squared times x squared is x to the fourth. X squared times negative x is negative x to the third. X squared times 1 is just x squared. Alright? Now, in the sequence, our next step is to subtract. So that means that all of my signs in here are going to change. Okay? So if we are subtracting, putting a minus around this whole thing, all those signs are going to change. So this becomes a minus, this becomes a plus, and this becomes a minus. Okay? Now, let's add straight down. When we add, this goes away, as it should. 0x to the third plus x to the third is just 1x to the third. Here, 2x to the second minus x to the second is just 1x to the second. And then we bring this term down. And now we repeat the process. So x to the third divided by x to the second, just using the first term, that gives us x. So we'll put it here at the top. We'll take this x and we will distribute it to all of these terms. So we get x times x squared is x to the third. X times negative x squared. X times 1 is x. What's our next step? You got it. We have to subtract. So then this becomes minus, this becomes plus, and this becomes minus. Alright, and we combine straight down. So that goes away. This is now 2x to the second, and this is now negative 2x. We bring down our last term, plus 5. Alright, so one more time. So 2x squared divided by x squared just gives us a 2. 2 times this entire divisor gives us 2x squared. 2 times that is negative 2x. And 2 times 1 is just a 2. Last step, you got it, subtract. So this becomes minus, this becomes plus, and this becomes minus. So then we have here 0. This is also a 0, and 5 minus 2 is a 3. That is our remainder. The way that we incorporate the remainder into our problem is we will go plus 3 over whatever our divisor is here, and it is, in this case, x squared minus x plus 1. There's our final answer. So our quotient is x squared plus x plus 2 plus that remainder over the divisor. Minus. There you have it. That is polynomial long division. It's actually quite satisfying, but you know, it just takes practice. Okay. Now, there are some partner practice questions here. I will send you an email with you know, some answers so that you can check your work. But when you're doing this, you want to start again. 8x squared divided by 4x, well, that is 2x. Alright, so 8x squared divided by 4x is 2x. So that goes up here. Take that 2x and distribute. You get 8x squared minus 2x, and then you subtract. So this is now minus, this is now plus. And that goes away, and this becomes negative 20x. Bring down the 3. And do it all over again. Negative 20x divided by 4x is negative 5. Distribute. Negative 20x plus 5. And you subtract. This becomes plus, this becomes minus. This is now negative 2. So our quotient, 2x minus 5 minus 2 over 4x minus 1. That's it. Good luck.